everyone. Welcome to DPI Presents. I am excited that our team gets to bring information to business owners to really help them accelerate the tools to power success. And today we are talking to Carol Grant of Carol Grant Law, and we're talking about a very important topic. We're sitting here in the midst of February, Heart Health Month. It's important for us to protect the hearts that carry the vision, but it's estate planning. Like, what happens to us if we are incapacitated as business owners? And so I want to have Carol introduce herself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Carol.
Yes, Carol Grant. My office is here in Pembroke Pines, Florida. I handle probate. That's when someone passes away and we have to figure out what happens to their estates. I handle estate planning, which entails advance directives, wills, trusts, and also guardianships. And I really enjoy what I do. I'm a registered nurse as well, so I
Yes.
bring that component into my practice.
Yeah, it's such a compassionate way in which you're able to really minister and be able to support those that you are working with. So I will say that this is for education purposes only. It is providing just general information. We ask that you seek an attorney. Carol is will obviously be available, that you can reach out to her. But this is just general information that we're going to be providing. And one of the things, Carol, is you've been in business for almost 3 decades, which is an incredible amount of experience. A lot of times when people hear estate planning, especially as business leaders, we're thinking about end of life, right? Someone's on their deathbed or there has been an illness that has really hit them. And how should we as business owners really look at that differently?
Well, from a personal point of view, right, as we're thinking, if we have two columns, my personal, my business, for either whichever column you're in, end of life is not the place to start, right? You want to start thinking about the here and now. I have a little phrase that I say estate planning is for now and later. So the now part is what happens if you become incapacitated? As a nurse, I've seen people who they come in for a simple run-of-the-mill procedure, and then there's a complication, and now there's a period of incapacity, meaning they cannot manage their assets, they can't go to the bank, they can't get on the phone because of the condition that they're in. So they're alive, but they can't manage their assets, they can't manage their property. So now we're in the column of, okay, now you're a business owner, you can't manage your personal affairs, but now who's going to run your business? Who's going to handle payroll? Who's going to order supplies? Who's going to deal with tax issues? So these are the things when we say estate planning and business owners, that's that period of time. You're still alive, but there's a lot going on that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. When I think about the average age of business owners, it was, like age 45. And we think about normally that can be around the time, just in general perspective, that you are facing medical issues. And so, what is a way that you are able to, is there a certain documents that you need to have that your business can continue to operate if you are incapacitated, continuing with that theme and not able to be into the day to day? I think about when it was the pandemic and maybe it was people that had a COVID or someone who's been in an accident or a lot of different scenarios. But what is a document that we might need or documents that we need? I love that you said the now part of it, that we can use to be able to continue to operate our businesses without like those disruptions to our customer service experience. Help us.
So, firstly, you should consider a power of attorney, a doable power of attorney. So, with this document, you are going to designate a trusted person, whether it's a family member or someone in the business, a key person, to be able to act on your behalf. In other words, stand in your shoe, right? Now they have the legal authority because you have now given them this right to do so pursuant to the document. This document should be very specific as to the tasks, the everyday activities you want them to handle, such as going to the bank, such as speaking with your vendors, such as signing contracts, right? That's one first place to start. then you have to look, well, do you have an operating agreement? Do you have a bylaws for your corporation? What is that document that's going to guide the operations while you're not there? And if this is long term, is there buy sell agreement? What's going to happen to your interest in the company? What's going to happen to succession? Who's going to inherit that? Is it going to go through probate? So again, generally, you want to start with a power of attorney, and every business should have, if you're an LLC, your operating agreement. If you are just a corporation, whether C or S, then you want to have your bylaws. So this is the tool that's going to say, this is how my business should operate in my absence.
Yeah, that is so good. And thank you for providing that information because, at DPI, I have a business partner, we have a legal agreement. So even if we are working with family, we need to have that doable power of attorney. We need to have those documents that you just referenced just to make sure that there isn't that disruption, there isn't that chaos, there isn't that delay that you're having in business. And I appreciate you saying how be specific in regards to what you want them to carry on with. So good. All right. So here's the next question is, as you were talking about the power of attorney, let's also now think about the, revocable trust. A lot of times we hear these words, revocable trust, wills. What is the best instrument or tool that a business owner needs to have? Or maybe it's a conjunction of having both for a business owner. We know from the personal side, the revocable trust and a power of attorney. But when it comes to our business, are those two instruments that we can use with our business?
Yes, so the revocable trust, the will, those documents or those tools, like I like to call them, they're effective for your person
Mhm.
and also for your business. Because one of the things you don't want to have happen is that you become incapacitated, right? And you have no documents in place. So now we're in front of the judge trying to get a guardianship. And now the judge has to basically appoint a guardian. And so that business that you've protected, that business that you have built, is now having to go through a court administration where if something needs to happen in the business, such as you want to consolidate, you want to sell off assets, you got to go through the court. You have to get a court order. So that's the scenario when you don't have a revocable living trust, you don't have a power of attorney. So if you have this revocable trust, one of the things that we talk about is trust funding. So you have this trust, which is like this beautiful basket, but it's empty when you first sign it. So now you have to literally put things that you own, such as your business, title it in the name of the trust. So there are documents that the attorney will execute, or you'll execute rather, to allow you to now put that LLC, assign it to the business. So the neat thing about a revocable living trust is that it operates when you are alive now, and it operates when you pass away. So if
Mhm.
something happens to you and you're incapacitated and that business asset was assigned into the trust is going to say how the business, along with the operating agreement, should continue. And the trust will also have a successor trustee. So you are the initial trustee of your trust. This is whether it's your personal or the business, you are the initial trustee. And then you have a backup plan. Hey, if I'm ever incapacitated, this is the person I want to step in and handle the business while I am unable to do so.
Mm.
And of
That
course,
is-
the will is the document that won't come into place until you pass away. And this is one of the questions I get all the time is they clients say, "Oh, I just want a will." And I have to say, that's great, but just remember, a will is not effective now. That's when you pass away.
Okay. Great information. And I think many times we think when we're hearing about this revocable trust and, funding the trust, that we're thinking, as if there's a certain size of business. But this is really something, no matter the size of business, that you need to have. Is that accurate?
That is correct. Because again, let's look at this scenario, right? John owns his plumbing company, right? Let's talk about death. So John passes away, but he owns a plumbing company. He has a team of people. He has contracts out. He has invoices to be collected. When you don't have these tools in place, now that asset has to go through probate.
Mm.
Ev- Now, and probate is a public, it's not a private scenario, right? You can go online and find the case, find information about the business. So again, everything related to the business decisions, the personal representative would need court approval for a lot of activities, right? So it doesn't matter that it's small or large, it's your legacy. It's, you've invested time and money into this business, and it has value, right? That's why we're in business, right? To create value, not only for our clients, but value for us, financially.
Thank you for that. So I think, at DPI, we are always trying to be very practical. I want the person that is listening to this, whether it is morning, afternoon, or evening, start thinking now about who that power of attorney is. Who is that person that you trust? It might not be your partner or your spouse. It might be someone else that you can have full trust in to operate your business in the untimely manner that you pass away. And when you talked about that revocable trust, I think it's beautiful that you can really control from the grave in the way that your business will be run moving forward when you have all of those documents into place. So many times business owners are thinking about, I'm going to put a beneficiary on the bank account, whether from a personal or a business perspective, and they think that that is enough. And I know that you've explained why that isn't enough. But really, what risk and like what blind spots is that in just thinking like, oh, well, this person is my beneficiary. And that's kind of all I need in regards to my bank account.
Right. And I see that not only in business, but also personally. So remember, a beneficiary has no rights while you are alive. So if you have a business account and you name a beneficiary, that beneficiary cannot access that account. Now, if your partner in business is a joint owner, hence now they can actually go in. But again, with that being said, you still need to have your operating agreement in place, even if your business owner is a joint owner on the account. Because again, what is the everyday, day-to-day operations going to look like? So beneficiary is great, only comes in when you pass away.
That now and later, right? Like that's such a beautiful way to explain it because I think many times we're only locked into the later, but we need to think about the now, right? Like you could still be living, but there's that, kind of incapacitated. And I would say our highest recommendation, right? Obviously, we know we're speaking to business owners and they get to make the final decisions, is that you seek out a professional versus trying to do this online. I've seen commercials where it's like, oh, you can get your, estate planning done online, but you really need to have a professional look over your documents, understand the needs that you have, the way that you want your business to operate, so that you are not at risk of anything in regards to your business or even your personal as well. And so here is our final question. I feel like our time always goes so fast, but you're so great at giving us your time to be able to really walk through this. What is one common mistake that you see business owners make that can be just really easy to fix when they have really wrapped their head around this now and later and understanding how to legally protect their business? What's just kind of one or two common mistakes that you see?
And I see a lot of people and they're alone in business,
Mm.
right? So it's similar to a situation, husband and wife, where the wife dies and the husband does not know how to pay the bill, does not know where to find things in the house, right? So if you are a solopreneur, Nobody has access to your business. Nobody knows about your business. It's in your head, right? And your or disorganization. So even if someone were to come in to try to help you, right, they can't find anything. I've had wives, they'll say to me, in fact, I have a situation where the wife says, I don't know anything about his business, and he's gone.
Mm.
Nothing. I don't know where he keeps anything. The taxes are in disarray. So that's one big mistake is yes, it's your business by yourself, but we have to consider who can we partner with, even I mean, maybe not as a business owner, but just someone as a consultant, someone that knows what's happening in your business.
Mm. Wow. That's so good. Like I'm sitting here, like just thinking to myself, because we're often encouraging our business owners from an operational, day-to-day operational, to document your standard operating procedures, to create, just quick videos of jumping on Zoom, if that's the case, to be able to, have just the main processes in your businesses be detailed. And here you are saying that when you're in business, even as a solopreneur, that you're not alone, that someone needs to understand that you can have, that confidence and trust in to be able to know what exactly is happening in your business. Carol, is there any last parting words for our business owners to really energize them to take action?
I mean, I think part of it is don't forget your dream, right? You
Mm,
know, I'm from another country. So being in the United States and especially living in South Florida, seeing so many people who they say, I want that American dream. I want to be able to buy a home. I want to be able to send my kids to college. So I think if we remember our why you started that business, whether it's for your independence, whether it's to grow your nest egg, whatever it is that focus on your why. And I'm going to say this, and this is, I hire someone like DPI LLC to help you look at the big picture and
mm,
then narrow your focus and
mhm,
figure out the next steps, right? We can't be chaotic in our personal lives and we can't be chaotic in our business lives because if we are, we're going to lose our legacy. We're going to lose that which we wanted to leave for our loved ones. So while you take care of your business, do not forget the second thing is it ties together. You
mm.
can't have your personal affairs, meaning your estate planning in order as it relates to your personal life, but then your business is in disarray because there's no operating agreement, there's no structure, there's no succession planning. You have not identified a key man, right, or a key person that you can pour into, right? Pour your vision into, help them to develop the skills, right? That they would need to help you if you ever needed them to step in.
I mean, I feel like this has come full circle in regards to protect the heart that carries the vision. You said, remember your why. Why are you doing this? And you don't want anything that can be a blind spot that can take away what you've worked so hard, you've poured into. So, Carol, thank you so much for being with us. Carol Grant Law. Tell us how we can find you because I know that you are educating, you have outreach that you do, and you just had an event where you brought together different attorneys and even a judge to help people really understand estate planning. But how do we stay in touch with you? I know, your Facebook, your YouTube. Let us know how we can stay in contact with you, follow your journey.
You can go to my website, carolgrantlaw.com, and I have blogs on there. You can book a free consultation. Like I said, my office is right in Pembroke Pines, and we would love to serve you. If you have a need that we cannot meet, we have trusted attorneys that can also refer you to. So it's not about us, right? It's about building a community. It's about helping you help yourself, right? Even if we can't help you, we can certainly lead you in the right direction. And that's our goal. That's our desire is to build long-term relationships. We have clients that we've had for over 20 years. So
Wow.
yeah.
That is so beautiful. So yes, our team here at DPI LLC, we highly recommend Carol Grant Law and her team. It is truly a deserving team, a trusting team. And when you are dealing with the financial matters of your business and what's happening in your personal life, those are very sensitive topics, and you need that trusted partner and advisor to be in it with you. And this is a team that is in it with you. So thank you so much. I know you're, an incredibly busy woman, but you spent this time to really educate our audience, and I definitely appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh, I feel so honored to be here and to be, on this show, is it, or program?
As program, yeah, this recording.
I feel honored.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, we want you to be well, protect the heart that carries the vision, and we will speak to you